There's been a lot of development for modding games, but not all of it has been good. For those of you who don't know or aren't PC gamers, modding is where regular players add or tweak assets or mechanics to tailor the experience they or others are looking for. Sometimes this is as simple as UI changes. In large open world games from the likes of Bethesda, these are sometimes fixing bugs that fell through the cracks. And every once in a while, a team of people make what's called a total conversion mod, which changes so much of the core gameplay that it might as well be a new game or at least a giant expansion. So sit back, relax on the couch, and let me tell you some of the most exciting modding news so far. And don't forget to hit that bell icon for more news in the future. So today we're going to talk about some good news for Cyberpunk modding support, then some wild developments and accusations for a giant Fallout New Vegas mod, and wrap it up by discussing some mods to look forward to in the future. Now, as we all know, Cyberpunk 2077 has been off to a rocky start, but there's reason to be optimistic now that CDPR has, according to a TechRadar article, now got official modding tools, so while there are plenty of mods around already, you can expect a good deal more to pitch up soon enough. CD Projekt Red released its modding support tools alongside a brief note which promised that continuous updates would be provided alongside game patches, therefore hopefully avoiding any thorny compatibility issues. These will allow regular gamers in their own time to fix bugs on the PC, unfortunately not for the consoles, which contained most of the bugs, but this is still a step in the right direction and can maybe help CDPR outsource solutions that can be applied to the console. For a while, mods were limited mostly to just the third-party mod, which is operating much more smoothly now, and a beautiful cel-shaded graphics mod that made the game look like Borderlands, just to name a few. My hope is that modders will be able to add things from the GTA series, like cabs, subways, mini-games like darts or pool, or even just an actual animation for going to the bar. We can get actual racing missions, not the sad excuse that aren't even races that we got. More guns, clothes that don't have armor ratings. The possibilities are literally endless. This doesn't mean CDPR is off the hook yet, as the article states, clearly there's still a lot of work to be done by CD Projekt Red in fixing Cyberpunk 2077, even with the PC version, which is in far better shape than the consoles. Naturally, curing the latest game-breaking bug will be of paramount importance for the devs, providing a proper solution and not just a workaround, that is. And a major patch is due soon. It should arrive in February, which will hopefully make some serious strides forwards without taking any backward steps afterwards. Perhaps Cyberpunk will finally be the game that you can be anyone you want to be with the help of dedicated modders. Just remember, modders are regular people doing this stuff in their free time, so as always, a little patience goes a long way. While Cyberpunk 2077 was billed as the game where you can be whoever you want to be, you can't have sex with whoever you want thanks to CDPR, for understandable reasons. According to a PC Gamer article, in a somewhat inevitable outcome, a new Cyberpunk 2077 mod that allowed players to kinda maybe halfway have sex with Keanu Reeves has been quickly shut down by CDPR. In a statement from CD Projekt Red themselves, they said, "Our most important rule regarding user-generated content, game mods in particular, is that it can't be harmful towards others. In the case of model swaps, especially those that involve explicit situations, it can be perceived as such by the people who lent us their appearance for the purpose of creating characters in Cyberpunk 2077. On the one hand, this may be a little hypocritical from the company that included a POV sex scene with Keanu's likeness, not to mention that given Keanu Reeves' usual laid-back attitude, do not watch Knock Knock. He probably wouldn't be offended, but given its implications for other characters and actors who did not give permission, nor would want their likeness used as such, it's understandable. At the end of the day, CDPR is probably just trying to cover their own asses given their pile of legal woes. As they continue, therefore when making fan content, creators have to make sure they've got permission from all the concerned parties, which might be people other than CD Projekt Red. For the characters we've invented for the game, we broadly permit you to tweak the game at will and just have fun. When it comes to models of real people whom we've asked to participate in the game, we kindly ask you to refrain from using them in any situation that might be found offensive if you don't have their explicit permission. It's a weird gray moral and ethical area that could have worse implications when taken to their extreme, but at the end of the day, CDPR made the game and provided the modding tools, so if this goes against the kind of content they want, there's not much modders can do. And with what's happened with this next mod, this kind of regulating might actually be a good thing. Fallout New Vegas from Obsidian is often held up as the golden standard of competing factions and dialogue choices in role-playing games, and for good reason. There are multiple ending scenarios for almost a dozen factions, each with their own renowned system. A giant mod that has been in development for several years sought to expand these options, but thanks to one of the developer's weird fantasies, it has been pulled from the Nexus Mod, a website that compiles available mods for download. According to Eurogamer, it's one of the biggest Fallout New Vegas mods of all time, but Fallout the Frontier has had a seriously rocky launch since it released on 15th January. After crashing Nexus mods on launch day and racking up 82,000 unique downloads, Fallout the Frontier started to face accusations it was secretly a fetish mod, with critics highlighting a number of questionable moments from the mod as examples. Last night, things escalated rather dramatically as one of the mod developers was ejected from the team for allegedly posting animated pedophilic content. A few hours later, the entire mod was taken offline. Luckily, this is a separate mod from the Fallout 4 New Vegas mod, so we still have that to look forward to, but it's still a shame that the worst kind of people on the internet have to ruin what was supposed to be a huge expansion to one of the best role-playing experiences out there. The developer won't be named because we don't want to give him any attention, but we hope his shame is spread across the internet, both for ruining what was supposed to be an epic mod, but also for the nature of the content he posted and anybody harmed by it. But looking to the future, we still have Fallout 4 New Vegas played with a much better Fallout 4 engine, Fallout Miami, a huge Floridian expansion for Fallout 4, Skyblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion played on the much better Skyrim engine, and most importantly Skywind, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind on the same Skyrim engine. All of these may be necessary to tide us over since according to a Screen Rant article, it appears that the immensely anticipated Elder Scrolls 6 won't come out until 2026, according to an industry insider. It's rather understandable considering that there's little to no information regarding the game, although Bethesda might have recently hinted at the possible setting of the upcoming sequel. On New Year's Eve, almost a month ago, Bethesda published a festive post on Twitter. It included an image of Skyrim's map, but most importantly, it also highlighted another Tamriel province, Hammerfell, which could have easily gone unnoticed as the inscription was made with a faded font. If the insider is correct, it's going to be quite the wait to be able to explore the home of the Redguards. The two Skyrim remakes seem to have been in development by modders for what feels like an eternity, but there's reason to believe that progress is coming swiftly and perhaps one of them is nearing completion. Bethesda has hammered Skyrim to death, but most millennials gamers, myself included, first exposure to an open-world game was Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. You played a stranger in a strange land where even the architecture was very alien, resembling mushrooms and crustaceans. While Oblivion's combat was an improvement, it retained an almost identical level system in a much more comfortable, traditional, Western fantasy setting. Skyrim perfected these combat and level mechanics at a time when Norse mythology and fantasy was increasingly becoming relevant. Even the story for Morrowind was something new. You play as the Nerevarine, assuming you ever bother to do the main quest, a reincarnate of the general Indoril Nerevar, who united the ancestors of the Dark Elves and Dwarves, or Deep Elves, but was betrayed by his friends who propped themselves up as false gods, charged by the Daedra Azura to set the balance of the world right again. It was a much more interesting main quest that forced the player to involve themselves in the politics of both the Dunmer aristocracy and the Ashlander nomads. In Skyrim, being the Dragonborn sounds cool, but only gives you a few underwhelming extra spells. The fact that you have a dragon soul is just an extra detail sprinkled on top. In Oblivion, you're just the guy who finds the guy who saves the world. I'm exaggerating a bit, but Morrowind's story and setting were so unique that I am highly anticipating this mod. Even Oblivion on Skyrim's engine shows a marked improvement, and according to a PC Gamer article, there are over 200 quests in the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, and the SkyBlivion modding team, who are recreating Oblivion in Skyrim's engine, have finally begun adding these quests to their internal build. There's a video showing off the quest, so it seems like progress is well underway, but more importantly, there's big news for Skywind according to Game Informer. This ambitious project is not only approved by Bethesda, but incredibly detailed in a way that honors both Morrowind and Skyrim in the best way possible. What Skywind does is it modernizes the amazing tale that Morrowind gave players, and now it's coming to Nexus mods. While neither of these mods have an official release date, with the Skywind team stating, "We're keeping our release targets private for now, and it's not possible to give a useful completion percentage," with a community project such as this, progress often comes at an irregular rate and is hard to predict. Providing even an approximate estimate date won't help us deliver Skywind faster, and will result in disappointment if we're delayed. Cyberpunk. It'll be done when it's done. There's still room for optimism, as it looks like these projects are closer than ever to becoming playable. Both games are necessary to own depending on which remake, but if these modders deliver, it'll be well worth it. So hopefully there's enough here of free mods to keep everyone entertained well into 2026 and beyond. Thanks so much for staying with me, and if you want to hear more gaming news or updates in the future, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Give that bell a little ring to get notifications of our posted videos, and give them a like if you enjoyed it. I'm Dylan, and until next time, happy modding.